I'm gonna be honest, man. It's a really hard time to be in Anthony Smith's realm because I was watching that Roundtree fight from the corner of my eye while I was playing some video games last night, and I heard two pops, and I thought that there was like a follow up kick that knocked down Anthony Smith. Right? He fell down. He folded when I watched the replay. It was two really clean strikes, and you could tell he just had enough. And even Roundtree knew I don't want to hit this guy again. It's for the Anthony Smith fan base, right? Because they are out there. There are people who respect Anthony Smith. I know the internet likes to give this guy a hard time. When you're fighting at a UFC level, you get my condolences. A lot of people who talk trash online have never fought in any sort of combat scenario, right? So it's easy for them to sit there and, bad mouth. But even though I don't think Anthony Smith is beyond criticism, some of the stuff is warranted, but you know how internet culture is. Once you're marked as a lol cow, you will never see the end of it. Make it make sense. But I say this with all sincerity. Anthony Smith might want to think about hanging it up. And I'm going to play a little bit of matchmaker just because I don't want to send him off right now, but I do want to send him off with someone who's a perfect pair, right? Because he beat Ryan Spann again, right? But then he goes back against Roundtree, who has gotten better. A lot of these dark horses who don't get a whole lot of publicity, sometimes they just pop out of nowhere. Because if you punch him hard enough, he's pretty tough, but he's going to go down. It just works like that. But who else has been having an even worse downfall? Because we already know that Anthony Smith's downfall has been coming. His performances have been slowly but surely dipping. He has been just kind of going downhill, and it's not like he's facing nobodies. He's facing the heavy hitters, right? For a time when you're losing to Ankalaev, dude, there's no shame in that. It's Ankalaev, right? But when you start having Johnny Walker get that better, and I think it might just be for being a company man, like a cowboy scenario, where he's just wearing himself down. And then Roundtree, who isn't supposed to on paper beat Anthony Smith, but he's been smarter about which fights he picks. You see the overworkingness. You see what too much work can do to somebody. It's almost like a Tony Ferguson situation also, right? These guys continue to step in, continue to step up against the baddest. They don't care if they win or lose. They just want the challenge. In short term, yeah, you get punched in the face, knocked out, you wake up. But the long term stuff is real. It's like when someone picks a street fight, right? I'm not hesitating because I'm afraid of throwing hands. I'm hesitating because I'm afraid of the cops coming to my door the next morning to question me because no one knew the full story of that or anything like that. That's never happened, by the way. That's just never, but you get the point. It's like CTE and stuff like that. Your body breaks down. But we've also seen the same thing with Dominick Reyes, who's coming back in, I think, UFC 296. And I think he might be able to win this fight. We don't know. If he loses his fight, I don't think we should make that match because he lost against Ryan Spann and Anthony Smith beat Ryan Spann twice. So I think that would just be a little bit of a mismatch. I don't know. I don't know how this Roundtree damage is going to affect Smith or change the trajectory. There's an argument in there. But I would like to see for these two guys, Anthony Smith versus Dominick Reyes at this point, because I don't really see Dominick Reyes making it too far. Because after those losses against Blachowicz and Prohashka, he took so much damage that he has never been the same. Just like when you look at Anthony Smith with Glover Teixeira, Ankalaev, Johnny Walker, you could tell he's only breaking down a little bit more. And you can't last forever in this game, especially when you are busting your rear. But I think it's time for both of those dudes to hang it up, especially Anthony Smith after what I saw last night. Um, if Dominick Reyes wins his next fight, I think Smith versus Reyes would be a perfect send off for both of these guys. And I don't want to mean disrespect. But that happens. It just tends to happen, and we got to find these two match makes. We got to get it in while we still have time for these guys because I don't know how much longer they're going to last when you see their performances just start to dip like that. But I will call for Dominick Reyes versus Anthony Smith. That's all I got to say. Peace out.